Hey everyone, this is Manly Badass Hero and welcome back to Rise of Insanity. Previously we went for various variations of our world as we plumb the mind of our mysterious player character. This TV always turns on. Man at a desk and then a shadowy figure. And it seems our kitchen is gone, because they don't want us to cook anymore because this game hates kitchens and furniture in general. Let's see if we can find some secrets. Nope. That apparently was the correct way to go, because the kitchen just got destroyed behind me. You weren't like that before, were you? Quack. You weren't here before, Mr. Teddy. That's the mom. Unforgiving crows. Every morning 2 crows, fought in memory, are released and fly above the world. Bird symbolism. That's what the birds flying kind of thing, the little minigame that they do. That's fought in memory. Trying to reach the destination of the mind. Per se. Well, that was just a loop. But I'm more afraid that the memory may come back. Makes a little more sense now.
Patient. Data today is 28th of March. March. No. Weird case. Only experimental methods. Only experimental. No. Why him? Why him? I don't know. Weird case. Weird case.
Odd. Birds! Phone's ringing, let's go downstairs. But first... secret. Famous psychologist accused by the Committee of Ethics. The experimental method of treating severe psychological disorders developed by Dr. Stephen Dowell has raised controversy for a long time. After sessions at the doctor's, the condition of the patients deteriorated significantly, but Dr. Dowell maintained his opinion about the correctness of the procedures. The main association of psychologists had conducted an interview among people examined of the use of Dowell's films. The investigation led to a former patient who committed suicide after experimental sessions. The young girl threw herself under a speeding train, and the psychologist treating her hid all the traces and methods binding the patient. Falsifying autopsy files. So maybe the treatment does go horribly wrong every time? Mushy mush.
On Monday, Eddie was born. On Friday, he had a family on his own. On Wednesday, his dreams did not allow him to sleep. So on Thursday day, he visited the doctor to confess so deep. On Friday night, he did what the doctor told him to do. On Saturday, he did not have his family. He did the do.
No.
The Sunday morning, he slept dull. The doctor was right. 9 years have gone.
Well, this is certainly not blinding at all. Oof. Still needs to tell them about absorbing colors. Doctor's office. So the plague mask, the crow person is the doctor, but may also be the patient. So I was wondering, is the twist gonna be the one and the same? Just new therapy, wait for results. Leaves falling? Trees. I feel like this is a corruption of kind of the garden area in some weird way. Fedor is a very talented child. He's very calm and scared of a dreamer. Same text we saw earlier. Piano.
Honey, gain control over him, please.
Where is the border between reality and dream? What is our life? Is that what is meant to... what is dreamt, or is that what we dream about? You'll take control of a dream that does not come but haunts you, Eddie. I'm thinking there might be one of the same. Kind of that whole... that's why he's questioning what's the dream and what's not. Is Eddie the dream or Steven the dream? Teddy's third birthday went great. The party took place in our garden. All dishes of desserts were made from fruits we bred there. The only thing that made me worried was that Steven took an active interest in Teddy's mental development. He's only 3 and his father is already forcing him to learn to read. I have to talk to him. It's not too early to start to learn to read, is it? I don't know. I'm not sure what the standard would be. Fedor. Oh, I just get Fedor. Teddy. So we saw the teddy bear in the room. Well, we're making progress. Till now. And I'm gonna be trapped like a bird in a cage. Oh. Ducky. Weird. The world has many doors, Eddie boy. Back here. Things look comparatively normal.
Steven, can I get into the bathroom for a while?
No. Don't like that knife that's there. Always with the chairs.
Honey, bring me the towel from the bedroom. I forgot about it completely.
Sure thing, dear. We're just checking the symbolism of my son's room. Locked. And there's those birds. Well then... That was locked. Maybe in here? There's a towel. See if we can find maybe a key or something for that chest. Because of excessive duties, I don't have time to take care of the garden. I've asked Steven to help me. To employ somebody to help. At least as much as he can offer, that's all I can ask for. I can't stand these maniacal attempts to create a genius from our child. Steven is out of his line. Taking him to the hospital and testing mental development methods is a sick fad. Sometimes I think that this marriage was a big mistake. I'll drive Teddy to his grandma. Maybe he'll be able to take a break from his father. Maybe it was Steven that did the thing. Honey? Oh, you're in there. I guess. Looks like we're gonna be recreating the scene from Psycho. Steve is my employer and I owe him a lot, but I know it's not a conversation to be conducted via letters. Let's meet in 2 days in the garden, the usual place, Edward. So you're having an affair, or were you, like, fancying a chance at one? Well, maybe Edward is separate from Steven. Edward might even have been framed. Perfectly good mirror. We're out. Still want to open that somehow. Does this unlock? Is there like a secret key I can get somewhere? No.
I'm staying at my parents' house with Teddy tonight.
Now we're in Steven's office. See if there's anything of note. For some reason I feel like the office's layout has changed, but I could just be misremembering greatly. Dr. Abraham. Thank you so much for sending Dr. Alfred Bennett's publication about checking children's IQ to me. Thanks to it, I've come up with a great idea. For now, I will tell you the details because I don't want to jinx it, but I will be connected with increasing the IQ of very small children in the initial part of their mental development. It will be revolutionary. Imagine this. Intellectual elites develop from the earliest ages to advance our world in science. That mankind may witness enormous development growth thanks to my research. Greetings, Stephen. Yeah, things have... This wasn't here before. Well, subtle changes. No locked box.
Research theme. The test of the therapy increasing the intelligence among children. The subject of the research, Theodore Dowell. The first attempts to increase IQ, I started using suggestion and manipulation method during REM sleep. The subject handled the experiment very well. I began the observation and started the manual visual tests phase.
So we're going downstairs. These have been pretty tame for a while as far as the surreal things happening. They opened for me. Weird. Looks broken. Something weird's going on. Very weird. Once we get into chairs, we have code share. Then you know things are bad. I win. Thanks. Anything new here? A light bulb. I guess that's useful. Let's see if we can use this to... This area is a little weird. I mentioned that before. Yeah. The shadow kind of touches you. It's basically equivalent like a death. But now we have a key to open that chest upstairs. So let's go. Ooh, a rubber ducky. Dear Abraham, it all went to hell. My entire plan, everything was based on suggestion, an attempt to manipulate Dream in the REM phase. I tested on my son, Teddy. I thought it would not harmful, and that I wouldn't lose anything. On the contrary, I would gain the first genius in the family created in this way. His marks are higher indeed, but he lacks empathy, and he has started to be afraid of the dark. My wife forbade me to continue my research. Well, I have even attempted to try this on my son. I'm abandoning this project. I'm sending back your materials. Thank you for them. P.S. I might have an interesting patient soon. That's what you do. Move to like testing on people. Like, what? Terribly wrong? You really hate furniture, don't you? The shadow. Nope. We got a code. Doom. It's the first time I've seen the garden in daylight. I think I got the chain or something. They're very nice tomatoes. Ooh. Some good growing. My car is always there. It's pretty. It's a very big estate. See, I was making a lot of money. That's all I could say. You got a tomato bush, huh? It's random. That's exactly what we needed. Look, there's the mouse. Again. Wait, hold up, I saw something here. That is a very small saw. Good to go. Dear? How big is this estate? I mean, it's probably a dream world, but still. You have your own private lake. I should still do something here. So we're gonna get off on the boat for the finale. And they can have like nice picnics here. They have a little swing for the kid, or for romantic moments. Which this probably is, considering the food that's been laid out. Let's see, the strange sessions with Teddy have allowed to obtain the outcomes desired by my husband. Is a toxic relation between the father and son worth it? Teddy's no longer a happy child as before. He's very afraid of the dark. On one hand, is normal at his age. Really, I don't know. I can only rely on Eddie, but he seems strange recently. I've tried to improve my marriage relations, but complete lack of interest from Steven still kills me. He's constantly talking about his new careering method. This relationship is imprisoning me. I can't see any future for it. I know it's a bit reckless, but I'm starting to feel more free with Eddie. Only he gives me just a little interest. Ooh, so this date might be for Eddie. Give you a paddle. Am I controlling the boat manually, or is it a cutscene? I think it's a cutscene. They represented something. Back here again. A pile of books.
Increasing the intelligence among children.
His third birthday went great. The part took place in the garden. Same thing as before about him having to learn to read. Here's the lake scene.
Happy, just for a while, to fulfill my dreams. During our romance.
See, this is the letter I found earlier. They're basically letters that we discovered within those specific areas.
The subject handled the experiment very well.
Fortune-telling machines. Why is it Dracula telling your fortune? You trust Dracula to tell your fortune? Oh, you're gonna get your blood sucked tonight. Well, how did you know that, Dracula? Blah! You know, that cliche. Or stereotyping Dracula. Unfairly. Here's the book. And birds. Well, that's many doors, Eddie boy. Jail. So was Eddie framed? Did we the doctor did the murdering? I don't know. Weird. phone's locked away. That's our ticket out of here. Interrogation. Case of Susan Dowell and Theodore Dowell's murder. Suspect Edward. Interrogation is conducted by Chief Inspector Samuel Wilson. After many attempts to make contact with the suspect, we haven't got any information. The accused smiles all the time and distinctly repeats a sentence which reads, "The nightmares have stopped. His eyesight is absent." He doesn't make eye contact with the interlocutor, but he probably doesn't realize the position he is in. About the presence of a forensic psychologist, we're not able to get any more information. It's supposed that the case will be finished with an insanity plea. Maybe Stephen purposely sabotaged treatment. Evidence locker. Quack. Smells like geraniums. Let's see. Witness Stephen Dowell. The interrogation conducted by Chief Inspector Samuel Wilson. The suspect is rattled. There is a lack of rational contact with him. He is understandable in his position. He hasn't said anything new. After the murder, there were many different comments from the psychology world and the press. The witness has only mentioned that his therapy curing mental split had been very ineffective. He hasn't commented on that. No propaganda. Morse code. Okay, let's try it again. Beep, 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 beep. Last one was 7. 327. That's another cliche that's in a lot of these games. Morse code puzzles. Very common.
Good. So maybe you would tell us about your authorial therapy. What do you think, Mr. Dow? Can you hear me? It's better now, isn't it? So, can we continue? Great. Did you know that Susan Dow was pregnant?
Uh-oh. Suspect Edward. Interrogation is conducted by Chief Inspector Samuel Wilson and forensic psychologist Miss Vanessa Green. Thanks to Miss Vanessa, we've come into contact with the suspect. It's been established that he is single. He worked as a Dallas gardener. He said that for the last months he's been taking part in a therapy that was to cure him of a split personality disorder. He admitted that he had killed his wife and child, but as he underlines, he did it in his dream because Mr. Dowell told him to do so. It was part of his therapy. We have finally figured it out. It is necessary to talk with Dr. Dowell. Ah, I was right. John, I know that tomorrow is Bowman's shift, so I've hidden the key for the door switches in a safe place. Don't tell him anything, let's drive him nuts for a while. Okay, let's find out where the Morse code's used. Three, 2, 7. Gotcha. Got the key? That tells you how to use a lock if you don't know, I guess. And we're going to open this over here. We have flipped the switch. And we are out of here.
Listen, Bowman, give me some creeps, Doctor. I won't manage alone.
Why was the subtitle so different from what was said? The subtitle had the correct formation, but the actual dialogue was a little bit weird. The examination conducted by Dr. Maslow's team should be taken into consideration during the investigation. Dr. Maslow could have an influence on the process of the examination in order to help his friend. Dr. Bandura says, Dr. Dowell was known for his controversial methods of treatment and the fact that in the past, he has probably led to his patient's death. Courtroom. This is when they get the final verdict after all the evidence.
I hereby open the trial against Edward about Susan Dowell and Theodore Dowell's murder. Do the prosecutor and counsel wish to say anything before the trial is started?
He did it!
I'd like to enclose the report about my client's insanity to the evidence, as well as recordings made by Dr. Dowell during the therapy.
Mr. Edward, could you tell us about the relation that was between you and Mrs. Susan Dowell, Dr. Stephen Dowell's wife, that tried to cure you? I would like to enclose documents from Susan Dowell's autopsy to the evidence. Basing on these, Your Honor, as well as the jury can get to know that the victim was pregnant with the defendant.
Ooh. No wonder. Let's see. Suspect Stephen Dowell. In their interrogation conducted by Chief Inspector Samuel Wilson and forensic psychologist Mr. Richard Jackson. After adding new evidence, which is Susan Dowell's dissection protocol, we get to know that she was in the first month of pregnancy and the father of suspect Edward blurred. We established that Stephen had a motive and skills to manipulate Edward. The suspect during the interrogation showed lack of the contact with the interlocutors. He went through ambivalent states, from hysteria attacks to complete apathy. The accompanying psychologist during interrogation came up with a thesis about Mr. Dowell's insanity caused by many traumatic experiences in a short period of time. Yeah, so... Edward... I think he's still guilty.
About malpractice against Edward, that caused Susan and Theodore Dowell's death. Do the prosecutor and counsel wish to say anything before the trial is started?
My client, as a doctor, always takes care about patients' welfare.
Ah!
In the enclosed evidence, Your Honor may read about many difficult cases that have been cured by the defendant. He was trying to cure his protege at any cost to ease the pain.
Your Majesty, I would like to enclose
Your Majesty?
the description of one therapy conducted by the defendant, which, as we can read, also finished with a failure. The girl, with similar illness like Edward, who under the influence of the therapy made suicide.
And did the defendant realize that his wife was pregnant, not with him, but with Edward?
Like, I could see that the scripts they were giving the voice actors were not always correct. Well, I've been suspecting it, but now it's, you know, pretty confirmed. Majesty. June issue. The tragic events that have happened to my friend had a very bad influence on his mental health condition, says Dr. Abraham Maslow, a friend of the accused who is suspected of manipulating Dr. Stephen Dowell, which in turn has led him to his family's murder. I deny the gossips that Stephen pretended he had mental incompetence. I've examined him as well as other psychologists and psychiatrists who were strange to him. No line. See, he's always with the chairs. Are the chairs another form of symbolism? Can I understand the birds? No. Steven's been committed? They gave him like a little bit of a custom place so he feels like home, maybe? Yeah, I don't know. It's a little weird. Give me those secrets. Mother and 7-year-old son murdered. 30 stabbed wounds, while 2 days later the child is strangled in his sleep. All these horrible acts have been committed by the father of the family.
How are you feeling today? Everything's okay? I think it's time to show you something. Let's go to the next room. Have a seat and make yourself comfortable.
Well, that dialogue is pretty stilted. This is the beginning of the game.
Started to pass away suddenly. Stephen treated me like a lodger, unwanted person, with whom he lived because it was a kind of interest. And I started to live on memories and projections that were so beautiful in my head, so perfect. Stephen was in them like years before, like when we moved into our new house and we planned to make a big garden, only for us. These memories made me stronger, helped me to survive, and wait for tomorrow with hope. First time, I thought that maybe I'm only dreaming, or the projections about him became ridiculously strong. He came to me like before, smiling, happy, with sparkles in his eyes. Similar situations repeated in the next weeks, and I, instead of looking for their source, was waiting till my loving Stephen came back, just for a while, to feel like before, like years ago. At the beginning of our relationship, Stephen often told me about interesting things from the psychology ward. During his studies, he met with a case of a patient with multiple personalities. I remember well this case because it seemed to be very exciting. So many different personalities in one body that differ in IQ, beliefs, talents, and even visual acuity. I hid my husband's illness to meet with Eddie, his second personality, to feel happy just for a while, to fulfill my dreams. During our romance, we often met in the garden. Today, I again talked with Eddie. He is in very bad condition. Stephen's therapy started to even scare him, he says. He must make terrible things to be cured and finally take a breath. As a last resort, I will send this recording to Abraham.
I mean, that pretty much explains it. What side is upside up and what side's upside down? I always have the chairs and the furniture. You keep blocking me with chairs. Ducky. There's that line again. Ooh, what? Fedor. Teddy bears, Teddy. Of course, the wave pops up behind me. Oh, no, now it opened. These are all the personalities caught at the edge of an abyss. Falling on and on. There's a face down there, I think, just so we hit the bottom.
But I will stay here in those walls.
So that's the end of Rise of Insanity. So, in the end, like, it kind of jumps between it, like, oh, maybe they have a split personality, and the doctor is the murderer. And he thinks he's the other character, and then it kind of goes like, you see the trial, and you're thinking, oh no, they're separate people, and the doctor just manipulated Eddie. But then the final scene, it has some bad English, so it kind of doesn't get its point across as obvious as it should, but it is, yeah, Eddie and Steven are the same person. That's why they keep censoring Eddie's last name. Because the wife outright kind of says, in the kind of poor English way, about kind of periods and Steven not being there, and then Steven suddenly coming back and stuff like that. That's her talking about him having different episodes, I suppose. And Eddie is one of his personalities, and that's the one the wife met with. So I guess it went so far that when the wife was pregnant, he saw it as pregnant with Eddie's son and not his own. There's also a few times where the projections of them kind of interchange places and stuff like that. So that is the twist. We called it in the beginning. Not a bad game. It's alright. That's how I would say. It doesn't really do anything bad, per se. But it's kind of the definition, I would say, of average, so. There's no real interesting set pieces. The storyline, I mean, I predicted it pretty early on, so like it's kind of fairly done. And the kind of translation, or whoever is writing the dialogue, is a little bit messed up. Not bad where it's understandable, but some of the nuances are gone, like, Your Majesty was in the courtroom. So, overall, like I said, I rated a firm. It's not bad. It's alright game. But yeah. Anyway, so thank you for all watching me play Rise of Insanity. I'll see you guys later, and take it easy.